Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Two thighs with rice. Yeah. Yeah. No coleslaw. Okay. All right. Thanks. Yeah. People, good night. I have to order something there. I wouldn't say what it is. I have to order some a meal. Right? So welcome back. Welcome back to Everything and Then Some Eats. We are here to give you some important and valuable food. So we bring the eats and you enjoy the drinks. So I'm your host Kivo, and we have a host of fantastic guests, just as we had last week, to give you some good information about some important things that I think you need to know. As adults, we need to know certain things. And before we get into the guests, on the topic of adults, we know adulting is tough, right? And I want to give a little bit of advice when it comes to the whole adulting world, right? We have not been prepared for it. Some people haven't been prepared for it. But I want to give you a little bit of information as to what you need to know when you become adult. First off, you need to learn at some point how to eat with knife and fork. You'll be invited to formal events. You need to know how to eat with knife and fork. And if you don't have that skill, take the fish. Don't take the chicken. And do not dare pick up that chicken and eat it in your hand in people's place. You in Hyatt? Eating chicken in the mouth? No. Don't do that. And spit not bone on your chin? No. Please learn to eat with knife and fork. It's part of the formalities when it comes to certain events. As an adult, you have to learn to do that. It's important. Please. The second thing, as an adult, you have to differentiate between WhatsApp grammar and professional grammar, right? You are two letters that cannot be put for you and are. You understand what I mean? YOU, ARE, those are proper English words. You are cannot be put in some type of resume. And on top of that, get a professional email. You cannot send a resume to an employer and say, "Hi, my name is Keisha, and I would like to apply for your job. And you can get me at sexyreds@gmail.com." Fix that. Why do we have that as our email? Get a professional email, please. My goodness, madness. And on top of that, we would like for you to get professional wear and formal wear. You outside looking like you're going to a boat ride? Why are we doing this? One black dress, one black suit, something formal, professional. My goodness, adulting is tough. That's my advice thus far. I have some more. But let's go into segments. Let's go into some interviews. And on the topic of fashion, I want to bring on my next guest as we enter the jiggy segment. Where is she? She's coming. And we are live with Miss Chandra Maharaj. Chandra,
Am I
a
frozen?
pleasant good evening. You're
Pleasant
frozen.
good
Yeah, you're
evening to
frozen.
you. Wow. I wonder why.
Yeah. Let it go. Let it go. Can you hear me
I don't
though?
even know how to fix it. I just know how to fix that.
Okay. That's all right. As long as you can hear me.
Yes.
All right. So good evening, Chandra. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. No
I'm
complaints. No
here.
complaints. So Chandra, I've been hearing that you have been doing some fantastic work with your business, and from what I know, you are a designer, right?
Yes. That's correct.
Good. And I did hear that you were part of a very nice video by Nyla Blackman. Your designs were done there?
Yeah, she was some of my designs. Quite a few of her videos actually, if I'm not mistaken. But most definitely the last yes.
Okay. All right, nice. So, Chandra, here's what, right? Just to ensure our viewers get a full experience, I would want to go to the next segment, sort out your technical difficulties, and
Yes.
then come back to you. So,
Okay.
you got a little snippet to Chandra. Let's move on to pocket change, and we'll come back to you in a little bit. Right?
Okay, great. Thank
All right. So, we're here with Mr. William Philip. I know you probably didn't expect that you were going to be on so soon, but things happen. Waiting on Chandra to sort
These
out
things,
herself there, and we will be back with her in a little bit. How you going, bro?
these, I'm well. I'm well. These things happen. These things happen. So
Yeah,
we're not worried about that. I'm good. And how are you?
I can't complain. How has COVID-19 been treating you?
Well, boy, listen. I feel if I complain, I really don't have anything to complain about. There are lots of things I guess that
I
I
get
would
you.
like to do, but I know
Mm-hmm.
that there are many other situations out there, people experiencing things that I am not experiencing. So I really do have a lot to be thankful for. So I really cannot complain. I'm not complaining at all.
Great, 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 great. That's a good attitude to have. So Philip, I spoke earlier before we came on about adulting, right? And giving people, sound
I heard
advice,
that.
right? I gave it on a general sense, and I went a little deeper into, small. I would say things that not really significant per se, but still significant. But on a larger
Yeah.
scale, I know that you are somebody that has significant information about very, very important financial steps that need to be taken. And one of those steps is basically investing, right? So give me a little rundown, and for those who are listening, of what are the ABCs of investing?
As a very direct question, Kibo, the ABCs of investing. Well, before I get into the ABCs, let me just say to you, and I guess to anybody who is zooming in tonight, if you don't take
Mm-hmm.
anything away from this conversation, anyone can invest. That's the first thing that
Mm-hmm.
I want people to know. Anyone can invest. I can get into that a little bit later. But in terms of what exactly is investing, um, the best way that I could describe it, Kivu, I mean, you work hard, you're also a business owner. And for
Yeah.
anybody who out there who's gainfully employed or you're working, you would like that money that you work so hard for, you want to get it working for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with investing, you're usually thinking about something that is down the road. It's a long-term goal. Some of the
Yeah.
big ticket items seem far-reaching, but
Mm-hmm.
investing is what's going to give you the best shot of achieving those long-term big ticket
Mm-hmm.
items, right? So as I said, it's the best option for helping you achieve, as I said, the big things that you want in life. It's very different. Investing is not saving. It's
Mm-hmm.
not gambling. Investing is putting your money in an asset, putting your money aside so that you can get a very, very good return to help you achieve your goals. That's what investing is.
So I am let's say 21-year old, and I just come out of university, and I'm looking to invest. What are some tips that you would give me as a young person in terms of getting
That's a
started into investment?
That's a good question, Kivo. I mean, because, you know, which brings me back to the point of anyone can invest. Because I think sometimes
Mhm.
people think that it's for people who are either very wealthy or for somebody who has a
Yeah.
finance degree or economics degree, and that's not the case. The best place to start would be a mutual fund. And a
Right.
mutual fund is really just, it's a mutual fund. Think of a basket, right?
Yeah.
Of say a basket of, well, I don't want to say fruits, but a basket of assets and that
Right.
invest in stocks and bonds. So a mutual fund is an
Mm-hmm.
investment company that is going to
Mm-hmm.
pool these assets together. And based on the returns that they get on these assets, they're able to pay unit holders or shareholders or investors. Now, what a mutual fund invests in, basically, a mutual fund invests in stocks and they invest in bonds. Again,
Yeah.
just to simply put that, There are two ways that a company can raise capital. So let's just say you want to, you have your business, Keyboard, and you wanted to expand or you wanted to start. You could either come and you could say, well, Phil, listen, I would like you to invest and I will give you shares because, my name is Kivo and I'm going to do very well, with this business and you should invest. And I will think about it. I will say, okay, I will look at the prospects and say, well, okay, I maybe it's a good opportunity, maybe it's not. The other way you could probably say, so if in shares would be represent ownership. The other way would be through a bond, and a bond is just a fancy word for a gigantic loan. Again, it's an arrangement between two people or two entities, and the interest from those bonds or those investments, that's how a mutual fund is able to pay that out to investors. So we're pooling these assets together, pooling all these stocks and bonds together. And why I say the best place to start is a mutual fund is because now I know a lot of people, young people are interested in investing directly into the stock market or maybe, who knows, investing in the bond. That may not necessarily be the best move if you don't understand the risk that you're taking. So in starting out, you want to get somebody who has the knowledge, who has the know-how, who can invest on your behalf and put the money in the right places so that you can get the best return. So I would say the best place, as I said, the best place to start is a mutual fund. If you really said, well, okay, listen, you want to invest directly in the stock market because you think the returns from a mutual fund is probably not as good or better returns, then you need to rely on somebody. You need to rely on an expert who's going to give you expert financial advice before you invest directly in the stock market or in any bond. So I'll say that's the best place to start for a young person.
Okay,
That was
nice.
long.
Nice.
I hope it can answer the question.
Well, it definitely did. It definitely did. And I really see the benefit, most importantly, of getting guidance because a lot of people would want to do this self-taught type strategy and go into
Right.
different investments and research online and let YouTube teach them. And I'm not saying anything wrong with that. But at the end of the day, I think when you have somebody who would have already taken the steps and charted a path that is with the least risk, it's always a good place to start and learn, in essence, how to start investing as opposed to trying to do it on your own,
That's extremely important because there's a lot of risk in taking that role. And you know what's important too? I think I didn't mention this. I think it's natural. I think everybody wants to get rich quickly, but I think there's an understanding, needs to be an understanding that investing is not a get rich quick scheme or get rich overnight. It's something that eventually you're going to get there. It's going to take some time. But you need to understand, yes, there is risk and you need to give yourself the best shot. And giving yourself the best shot means doing some of your research, but also relying on an expert to get you from point A to point B down the road.
Great.
So that big goal. And the goal can be anything. Because we have different, as I say, it's all relative. I mean, for you, I don't know what it would be for you, but as I said, it could be anything. It could be starting your own business. It could be owning a home, I don't know. It could be university. It could be somebody might want to retire early, So it just depends on what the goal could be. And I know millennials don't like to hear about retirement because it seems like it's far away, but that it could also be a goal. Retiring early just means you need to start saving a lot earlier or investing a lot earlier if that's the long-term goal, if that's 1 year goal.
Thank you very much, Phil. But I'm seeing some questions coming in, right? So I'm just looking at some feedback here. And Stacy is saying, for a 21-year-old, assuming they are working, I would think that direct investments may be best, as when you are young, you have the ability to rebound even if you have losses.
And Stacy is absolutely correct, right? So let me be clear on this. She is absolutely correct. What I will advise Stacy is that certainly if you don't understand, because you're going to invest in a company, right, directly on the stock market. If you don't have the wherewithal or the know-how to analyze the company, what we're saying is that you just rely on someone else, so you know what you're investing in, because there are good companies and some companies that are not so good, and you put your money in those companies, you could run into problems. And sometimes too, particularly like in this time, COVID-19 came, there are a lot of good companies, their stock price got punished. It doesn't mean that it's a bad company. It just means that the time where we are in the economic cycle or the business cycle. Again, fancy word, which is just where things are at right now. Companies will feel the brunt of it, but it does not mean that it's a bad company. So you have to determine that. And if you don't know how to determine that, it's best that you do rely on someone. But yes, when you are younger, short answer, yes. When you're younger, you should
Yeah.
be taking on more risk, giving yourself the best shot to achieve those long-term goals. And if invest directly in the stock market, you have an opportunity to do that, then go for it. Definitely go
Yeah,
for it.
definitely. So, Philip, thank you very much for that information. And I'm sure it was valuable to many, many people. And I'm sure that they will take it to heart and definitely seek your advice. Probably you might get some calls and some people, outside UTC soon to get some information. So, Phil, thank you very much. We appreciate it and have a great night, sir. All right.
You too, my
Take
brother.
care.
You have a great night. It was nice being here.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, man. Take care. Yes, so that was Mr. Philip Williams. Some great advice there. Very, very valuable information that we need to take to heart as young adults. Starting early, starting young is of paramount importance for us to rebound, as Stacey would have said. So just to introduce our next guest, we have different types of people who exist in the world. We have, based on a book I read called the Cash Flow Quadrant, we have four different quadrants, right? So we have the employees, we have the self-employed, we have the business owners, and we have the investors. And you can exist in all four quadrants, or you can exist in one, right? So our next guest exists, I think, in more than one, right? She started her company, and she is a very well-known designer, as I said earlier, and she has a full-fledged business called Chandra Maharaj Designs. So let's bring on Chandra once again. I hope that the technical difficulties would have been fixed so we can talk to her about her business.
Oh my
Chandra,
God!
I cannot believe
I
it.
can't believe it.
What is happening?
I have no idea. It was perfectly fine until 2 seconds ago. Oh my
This
gosh.
is
I
unbelievable.
apologize for this. I'm blaming the
Oh, but
Wi-Fi. I really have no idea.
I think you're fine now. I'm actually seeing you clearly, and things are in sync. So let's just go with it. Let's just go with it. All right.
Okay.
So
Well,
so we
thank
would
you
have
for that
spoken
introduction.
about. No problem, no problem, no problem. You're welcome. So we had spoken earlier that you did have some of your designs featured in Nyla Blackman's videos, etc. But tell me, what inspired your business? What made you decide to do design? And what's the nature, in essence, of your business?
Well, I like every other Trinidadian that grew up with that concept that you had to either be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, a
Mm-hmm.
dentist. You know how this story goes. So
Yeah.
I actually went to Miami to study international business, and after I graduated, I started my master's and realized that I really was just not doing something that I loved, and I dropped out
Mm-hmm.
of my master program, went into the fashion design school,
Right.
which is what I really loved and really wanted to do. And so once I graduated, I just decided to just take the risk and start my own company. I mean, of course, I was working still other jobs, but I, jumped over the cliff and started my company. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Nice. So who have you, been privileged to work with other than Nyla Blackman? I'm very sure from what I'm seeing, your social media platform is really, really popular. And who have you benefited or been able to work with based on you doing your different designs?
I got the question asked. I did a podcast recently and they asked me that same question, and I
Mm,
think I never really thought about it. It's not something that was like in my awareness. I think I just
right,
got a lot of opportunities. I've been blessed with meeting a lot of people that like
right.
my designs, or I've been blessed to meet people that can get in contact with certain celebrities, and so I was able to send them pieces and they loved it, they wore it, they posted it, and I just kind of,
Hmm.
little miracles and synchronicities. And so, I
Right.
mean, there's been like Tina Taylor, Angela Simmons, um, lots of influencers. Jazzy, who's an amazing comedian. She's,
Right.
actually a friend of mine. She was some of my
Mm.
pieces and posted it, and I mean, there's numerous other people, but it was never really my intention was never really to
About
target
that.
these people specifically. It just kind of happened that way, and I feel very blessed that these people loved my designs, and I
Mm.
shared that with their social media platforms. So
Yeah. Being a fellow entrepreneur myself, I know that there's always a struggle. Things are very rarely ever perfect from start to finish, or to where you are right now. What are some of the lessons that you have taken from your journey up till now?
uh definitely patience, but
Mm-hmm.
even more important than that, I think what's really vital is that you never allow anyone to dissuade you from your goals, to break your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a goal, and it was really hard to get here, and it's still hard. It's still a process.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a lot of challenges, but there were a lot of points of my journey where I could have just given up and gone back
Yeah.
to working for someone else and not pushing forward. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that that's the biggest lesson that I've learned from this particular company, and it will, it will continue influencing me as I go forward, because I know now that I can just keep creating my reality. It may not always be the shape and form that I see it, but I always get what I want as long as I work hard and I push for it. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the biggest lesson for me in this whole process, for sure.
Yeah. Um, do you think mentorship is important, like having a mentor and somebody to guide you to get to where you are?
Yes,
Business. Yeah.
I think it's extremely important. I wish I had a mentor. I never
Mm.
had a mentor. There was never anybody that did what I'm doing right now. It's a path that I
Mm-hmm.
had to create on my own. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if I had somebody to kind of help me and guide me along the way, it would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of money lost. And a lot of tears, because
Yeah.
I basically did something that hadn't been done before, and I really feel like it would have been different otherwise. But I do follow some people and read a lot, and kind of pull the information that I think is relevant and apply it to my business. But to say that I have a person that I've gone to, no. I
Yeah.
do have a mentor in costume design, which is Monique. Um,
Right.
but on just from my business, my personal business, I've never had one, and I really wish that I did, because I think that it would have really made a difference in the way that my
Yeah.
business developed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So many of us are very thankful for the social media platforms that we have. Do you think it would have been, or do you think it's easier actually, because we have social media platforms now, to have our business, spread to so many people, or do you think it gets lost, sorry, in the clutter?
I think it's so important. I like a few months ago, I was going through the amount of countries that I've shipped to from Trinidad and Tobago, like, because as you
Mm-hmm.
know, my business is big, and I ship out of Trinidad and Tobago to the world, and outside of the Caribbean islands, I ship to
Mm-hmm.
13 countries, like Australia and Austria, Germany, Netherlands, Thailand. Like, these are the
Right.
countries that I've shipped, and these people got access to me through Instagram, and I think that
Yeah.
it allows me to have a really powerful reach. And once somebody really connects
Yes.
with me and my brand, they support me continuously, and for that, I'm super grateful.
Yeah. Last question. Someone was asking, how has Carnival, the potential for Carnival to no longer be 2021, how is that now going to affect, your business?
Well, it's definitely going to affect my business, because it's a huge season for me, not just from the
Mhm.
costume design aspect, but also like all of my collections that are really focused on the carnival season. So it's going to be a huge change. We don't know yet if carnival is going to happen or not. We're kind of all just waiting to figure things out.
Yeah.
But this is part of entrepreneurship. Like, if there's an issue like this, which is a major, huge global issue, as a matter of fact, it's then my
Hmm.
responsibility to kind of now become creative, figure out other solutions, figure out other ways of keeping my business moving forward. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's all part of it. I mean, I am sad though, don't get me wrong, because that's like
Mm.
my biggest season. But it's
Yeah.
also a wake up call to realize that you really can't rely on one thing and one thing alone, and you need to be able
Yeah.
to have different sources and streams of income coming in.
Definitely, definitely. So Chandra, your information was so valuable to us, and a lot of people are asking questions, but our time is limited. But they definitely
Yes.
have your handles, they definitely have your information, so they will seek you out on Instagram and your different
Yes,
platforms to
for
get
sure.
information. So thank you very much, Chandra, for your information. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you so
spending
much
time
for
with us,
having me. Of
and
course,
have a
anytime.
wonderful night and stay safe.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye. So yes, that was Chandra Maharaj, and Chandra has been doing some fantastic work. I actually went through her Instagram profile, and she has some fantastic pieces for the ladies. Ladies, you all have it very easy. It's not a problem, right? You know exactly where to go to get your outfits, etc. She's making masks as well. You can get that. Don't worry yourself. Things in order. Ladies, some of y'all, are sorry to say, some work needs to be done. Some work needs to be done, right? Especially when you're going outside. I think, ladies, is imperative, right? If you're going to some event, you should fix your foot. When I say fix your foot, I'm not saying, right? I'm not saying that if your foot shaped so or shaped so, I'm not asking to do that. But if you're going to an event and you have open toe shoes, make sure your nail polish in order. You have your nail polish exfoliating, a red dot on your big toe. What's that? What is that? A time I'm in a party, I see the girl big toe with a red dot. I say, this girl recorded me? Is she recording me? No, we can't have that. Ladies, some of y'all do. You're not repping for the ladies properly. Some ladies doing it well, but some of y'all need some fix it. My goodness. Fellas, I'll come to you all soon, eh? Don't worry. Fellas, I have some things to say about y'all. But anyway, let us move right along. And this is what we call the big to big segment, right? And when I say big, big in size, and this man big in talent. So coming up now is the big to big segment with a special soca artist. Where
All the
you
way.
come from with that big bumper?
Big
Hey,
bumper.
boy. Next up, Sekon Starbucksville. Good evening, sir.
What
How
is
are
up,
you?
sir?
How are
Everything is
things?
fine in my brother Kevon. Huh?
Nice,
How are
nice,
things?
nice, nice.
Things have shifted in a different direction.
Mm, that's
There
that's
are
what
a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
say.
positives. Yeah, there are a lot of positives still, but I feel as though you're going to get to that and ask me questions pertaining to that. So,
Okay, good. Thank you very much for that. Now, tell me, seeing that you had such a fantastic year, 2020, congrats on your second Sunday, right? Tell me the
wow.
second Sunday concept, right? And being able to be an event planner. Do you see Carnival now in a different light as opposed to just being a soca artist going on stage? Do you see it in a different light now and appreciate Carnival from a different angle?
Well, doing events has always been
Mm,
something that I have been doing. I have been
yeah,
collaborating with the Empire for a couple of years now. So we came
right.
together and I had the idea for Second Sunday, and the perfect execution was due to the fact that they are a very committed team.
Mm-hmm.
And they saw my vision, they executed my vision, and still allowed me to have a lot of free reign. So Second Sunday is a reflection of me, but it's just
Mm,
executed perfectly. And what events do is that they now give me the platform to sell my music, because what I found is that my fan base wasn't getting the opportunity to hear me.
right.
That is due to the fact that there's limited space in events for artists, and a lot of times I can't really showcase my entire work or my best work. So Second Sunday was that platform that I could show
Mm,
every dynamic necessary for Second Star. I mean, it's not like people only come to jump up and get on bad. They get the deep side. They get the I was capable of showing paying homage with the extempo section. They saw the freestyle ability with Bungie Garland, and that was just this year. And you were there for the first year, and it was even more intimate than that. And due to
Yeah.
demand, they got larger. But the thing is, it is a platform for me to showcase everything Second Star and all my contributions towards Carnival.
Listen to me. I was able to enjoy a concert. Long time I didn't enjoy a concert, and that was one of the most enjoyable concerts I've been to in a while, brother. And being able to hear
I appreciate that.
your different styles, the different music that you put out there, it was absolutely fantastic. So congrats on that for sure, for sure.
I appreciate that.
Um, I want to ask you though, right? Coming from where you came from to now, what's the most interesting part of your journey or interesting lesson?
Well, the most interesting thing, I can't really say because there's numerous things, but
Uh-huh.
a lot of your success is directly attributed to the investment of time or the
Mm-hmm.
investment in the collection of information. And when
Yeah.
you take time to analyze the market, understand what the people want, you tend to have better results. So you take time to understand the market, and that's one of the things I had to learn because I used to do music to impress myself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but what I recognize is that, I mean, you can't really go too high, so you have to make your music palatable and relatable to the masses. And that took me a while to learn. And I think it's something I
Yeah.
understand now. And when I
Mm-hmm.
finally understood it, that is when God gave me my breakthrough. Oh, as well as well, I'm very into spirituality and stuff. And that
Mm-hmm.
connection with divinity has really been very positive for me.
Okay. That's some great
You're
stuff,
not
bro.
getting any
And
technical difficulties with me, right?
no. Everything's smooth. Everything's smooth. Everything's smooth.
Okay, cool.
Now, there are many people who would want to be in Second Star's shoes right now, right? Looking on and saying, "Wait, he has it all. His potential for growth is massive, right?" So what would you tell somebody who would want to pursue a career in the soca industry? What are some tips?
Okay,
Just to give it.
what I would tell anybody who wants to seek a career in anything is that you have to be
Uh,
highly passionate about it. Um,
yeah.
you must have a retirement fund, but never need to retire. If that's
Mm,
not how you feel about your job, then I don't think you should be doing it. Um,
yeah.
so I will do this without a dollar. I do this for fun. This is my entertainment. I love every aspect of the entertainment industry. I'm interested in every single facet, from the venue to the designer to the skills of a host to the radio. Remember, I was a radio announcer. I'm interested in
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
single part. So what I would say is that become an expert in your field. Work to the
Yes.
point where it is undeniable that they need to pay you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody is going to just give you a value. That is self-determined.
I,
And if you understand this is my concept when it comes to money. Money a measurement, is a measurement of the value that you give to society. So if you have a lot of money and you didn't obtain it in a
mm-hmm.
dirty way, but even if you did obtain it in a dirty way, it is a
Mm-hmm.
measurement of the perceived value that you give to the society. So if you give a big value to
Correct.
society, you shall be paid in big figures. Even if
Mm-hmm.
it might be the wrong thing, which is what we say not do the wrong thing. If you really check it, this is a measurement of your value. A dollar is but a measurement.
Yep.
It come like centimeters, liters. You know what I agree with? But that is how I view it.
I agree.
So what I would tell
I
anybody
agree.
is to work on your measurement and
Mm-hmm.
make sure your money long.
Ah.
And that if you want long money, you're paying long value. If you want short money, you're
Mm-hmm.
paying short value. And everybody don't need
Mm-hmm.
long money. Everybody
Yeah.
don't need long money. It's whatever you see,
Yeah.
but the energy you put in is what you shall receive.
Yeah. Yeah. Now let's take away Second Star, right? Let's talk about
I
Nesta
second starts
Boxing,
taking away
right?
myself.
No, no,
Okay.
right? Right? Let's talk
Okay,
about
okay, okay.
Nesta, right? Who is Nesta Boxing without Second Star? Like, are you the same person we see on stage? Are you just is that an extension of yourself per se, or No. Are you totally different,
No,
Mr.
I've
Boxell?
been told by others that the person they get to know and the person they initially meet is two different people. In terms that
Mm-hmm.
with second star, there's a certain amount of bravado, there's a certain amount of flair, there's a certain amount of quote unquote sophistication, there's a certain amount of
Mm.
self-assuredness, there's a certain amount of absence of insecurity that goes with the persona. And that a lot
Right.
of people may rub the wrong way, but a lot of women are attracted to that. It's like it
Mm.
has different things. But me, as a clown, Mr. Boxer is a clown.
I agree. I agree
Nah.
with
So when they know
mm.
me, I am a clown. And second star is
Yeah.
not a clown. And
Yeah.
it might sound
Yeah.
like madness, but that is the reality of it. It's two different
Yeah.
people. The man on
Definitely.
stage is not the man on stage. Definitely not the man
Definitely.
on stage. I am
Nice.
on.
Now
It's
Ashley
called that
Ashley
dancing.
Boris asked a question.
Okay.
Ashley Boris would have asked a question. She said, "What is your plan if Carnival is cancelled next year?"
If Carnival is cancelled next year, well, the first thing I'll do is cry. Um,
Yeah.
the second thing I will do, thing I'll do is to continue to ask to guide me. And if I had figured it out, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
I already have to deal with this surmountable
Mm-hmm.
challenge that a lot of people remember. They asked Iowa George, everybody want to know what soca artists do after the
Yeah.
some to make money to feed their
Yeah.
family. Tell them.
Yeah.
Well, right. Nessa's not selling boat ride or rum or none of those things, right?
Right.
And most of us entertainers, we make our money from traveling across the world after carnival.
Mm.
So it's like Trinidad has one carnival, but then after there's the way you really start to make your profit is after carnival. So that has not happened for me. But luckily,
Right.
I have my investments and my savings, and they are
Mm.
perpetuating me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is very fulfilling. But if there's no carnival next year, I think the entire ecosystem of carnival, because people are saying, what you soca artists could do, what you soca artists could do, right? Which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
We are the front lines, we are the faces of carnival, right?
Correct.
But it's what the host go and do. It's what the
Yes.
food man go and do. What the
Yes.
bar services gonna do. We
Mm.
know what drinks selling, so I'm gonna say drinks. What the cleaners going to
Mm.
do. What the
Mm.
decorators going to do, what the lights man going to do, what the stage man going to do, what the song man going to do. You understand? There's an entire ecosystem that is going to be negatively affected. You understand?
Yeah.
Nobody ain't going to take no
Yeah.
loan for no costume. People going to hold on to their
Nope.
money. That means money is not
Yeah.
going into the economy. So the absence of carnival is a huge deal, and people can't just look at it as though like, well, it's just the soca artists and them not going to make no money. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
direct. A lot of people like the food. That's a hit. That is a hit. It's almost as bad as if there was a hit on the restaurant industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Very
understand?
true.
So
Very, very true. Very, very true. Now, somebody else asked, Seiko asked, what is single hardest part of being a soca artist?
I don't know. I just have fun. I don't take on nobody, I
Mm.
don't take on nobody. I mean, when I put on my song, hopefully tongue take it, let's call it. I mean,
Mm.
they I would say what everybody will say is that it's hard to follow up, but I don't really try to follow up. I
Yeah.
have teamed up my people and I created something that allows me the platform to sell myself. So
Yeah.
I don't really take on. I put on my music and
Mm.
hopefully the people take on to me. And but the hardest part is probably that getting a hit. But
Mm.
if it's study that, you'll pull out all the hair, brother.
Yeah. 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 I agree.
You'll
Well,
pull out
I
all
probably
the hair.
taking it on.
Huh?
Yeah. I probably taking on too much because I listen so many front here,
Wait.
but I need
Oh
to get
God,
more. I need
second
to
song
get
get no hit this year. Second song get no hit this year. Oh God, he got dead. You see, you see that narrative? Huh?
Yeah.
Where this one? Where he was big last year, where him? Papa.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. That
Yeah.
thing
Don't
that's
look like
probably
that.
the toughest thing. Oh, you know what's the funniest thing? I won't say the hardest
Mm.
thing, but the funniest thing. When somebody stops you in the road and they're like, hey, I really like Kings and Queens, boy. You sing nothing this year. That's the hardest thing to deal with. Fortunately,
Yeah.
I've
This is
never
really
had
good.
to deal with that, but I'm fully yeah. Your song last year was a big song. You sing this year, and this time is February. Oh, cool.
Mm.
Sorry. February.
Yes,
Hey,
man.
you singing this year? That's the worst thing you can do as an artist. So that's probably the hardest thing to deal with. But I never had to deal with that. So thank
Okay,
God for
great.
that. Don't do with that.
So, Mr. Nessa Boxell, I want to thank you very much for giving us your time and giving us some of that advice. Being an expert in your field, that's a very,
Oh,
very
my
important
expert
point.
in my field. Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much, sir. And I wish you all the best in 2020. Hopefully, that
Thank you
2021
so much.
will bring us a carnival. All right.
You know what the carnival?
No, come in. It must be there. It must be there.
It
It
must be
must be there.
there. Even if
Yeah.
we keep it
Yeah.
internal.
Yeah, man. All right, bro.
All
Thanks
right,
a lot.
later.
All right. Take care. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to another end of our lovely episodes that we have in store for you. This was everything and then some valuable information from Chandra Maharaj, from Mr. Philip Williams, and from my good friend, Second Star Nesta Boxell. So remember, as Second Star would have said, if you want to be successful in a field, you have to be an expert in it. You are made not for employment, but for deployment. You are made with a talent that you can share with the world. And it's based on the need for what? It's based on your need, the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and how difficult, sorry, it is in replacing you. Right? So the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. So this was Kivo. Thank you very much for joining us for another Everything and Then Some. And we see you on Wednesday. New guests, new information, new vibes. Take care.